And we're back, round two of What to Do Wednesday. Somebody can click in real quick and let me know if you have audio on this feed. I turned the mute button off this time, so perhaps we'll actually be able to hear my beautiful and luxurious voice. And I will start over with a quick intro of the week's catch up for you, and then we'll move on to the topics of the day. What's up, Miss Maria? I see you there. Oh, now the phone's ringing too. Great. Do 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 do. I don't know if I can mute that from here. Well, ignore that for the time being. So this week, catch up with CrossFit DHP. We had some great things happening there. Our permits went into the Department of Health for our waste management system. So with that, we're waiting for their approval, and the Board of Building Department gets their applications in, and we should be in to finish our demo, get the contractors in. But we got in this weekend, myself, my lovely lady Jen, my other friend Jen, and the wonderful Taylor Zumo stopped in this weekend, helped me sweep up and vacuum some of the debris down there. So I'll have some pictures coming up on that as well. Want you guys to check it out, guys. Get onto my YouTube channel. Go to Point of Life Acupuncture in the search bar of YouTube. Putting all my live videos up there and all the other random spontaneous videos we shoot throughout the day, giving you guys some information, motivation, and techniques to help you move, think, and feel better. You'll see 2 or 3 different Point of Life Acupunctures up there. Obviously, we are the ones that are more populated with videos. You see like 19, 20, 30 videos, something like that. So check that one out. Hit the little subscribe button and also hit the little bell next to it. That bell is super important. That's going to give you notifications of any time I put anything up there. You'll get a little blast out about it. So it won't be too invasive into your time and space, but it'll give you a little notification that I put something out for you to share. What else happened? We're working on Murph prep. So I got myself trying to shave off 17 minutes off my Murph time. Training's going well. Legs are quite sore, but I'm starting to become I don't want to say it, but a fan of running maybe. Definitely been increasing the running, increasing the lactic threshold in the legs and getting some good cardiorespiratory endurance markers raised up on that. I'm recovering faster. So if you guys want any tips on some of those breakdowns and programs that I've been following for Murph prep this year or just CRE training in general, we can share those out to you as well. Hit me up, and I'd love to share some of that information for you. What else is going on? Things have been really good. Went up, saw my family this weekend up in Fishkill, New York. Went out to a little farm, pet some fluffy donkeys. I've never seen donkeys like this. They had like auburny reddish brown hair that was like 3 or 4 feet long. Hey, good. You guys can hear me. Thank you, KT. Hope the baby's doing well. Miss you, girl. Hope you can get back into the office soon. We miss seeing your smiling face around here. And, of course, hope we can get you back on the mats training again, too. Katie just had a baby, I think, 7, 8 days ago or so. So little Munchkin's already got some boxing gear and stuff on, some pictures on Facebook. So check that out if you guys want to click onto her and follow her feeds as well. She's a great person to follow, great motivational speaker, and cheerful little sunny girl. So, yeah, so let me stop babbling here. Donkeys were fluffy, and they were nice to see eating carrots out of our hand. But let's get to the point because I'll spend 30 minutes talking for no reason. So today's topic's got 2 questions that came in earlier today. Absolutely great questions. Wound healing, 12 days ago, thank you. Wound healing for post-operative care. So wounds and scars in general, post-operative care, namely a C-section. I don't know which way it's going to be able to say it's heard down here. This one asked this question, I think. Question about cesarean section, how to deal with the wounds and healing that area up and whatnot. So now surgery, wound care is wound care. The tissues differ, but the physiological system is the same. It's the human being. And there are certain parameters that you want to work with and things that you don't want to do. Obviously, nothing that's going to pull the wound apart, nothing that's going to put pressure that's going to make that body burst at the seams. So strenuous weight lifting, high output exercise, things like that. Typically a no-no for wound care. Massaging, pulling things apart and stretching out the area, not good. Removing your stitches, sutures, stuff like that yourself, not good. Kind of common sense stuff. Of course, keeping the area clean. Want to make sure that you're keeping the area clean of bacteria and infected tissues and things like that. Covered. There's mixed reviews on moist wound to dry wound care. Me personally, I like moderate. Healthy skin is somewhat moist and supple, but not too dry that it's damp. Dampness will have some. Thank you, Carrie. Dampness will have some more likelihood of having infections set in, especially fungal infections. If you're keeping it covered and moist and wet for too long. So I like to, me personally, I like to keep it more on the drier side, let things heal up like natural skin does. But really important things about how it heals. Anytime we have scar tissues and things that form, it's because our tissues are meant to integrate together. Skin should be growing together in an even contact like this, where the two open ends kind of come together and re-sew themselves together. Um, what ends up happening sometimes is the two ends will come together and they will dip down, dip down, dip down, dip down, and then we'll have this that happens. The two ends don't bind up together, and when you take that bandage off, they can kind of peel back apart again too. So that happens a lot of times with sutures and stuff like that. Actually happened with my elbow a little bit, but the bound up area was in the bottom was tight enough that when I took the sutures out, I didn't completely burst open, but it was definitely a little raw skin in between those two pieces where they came together. So as far as alternative and personal cares for that, always like to recommend getting like massage in the area to reduce lymphatic fluid, increase the blood flow in the area, and especially for those fibrous adhesions. When you think about scar tissue and as it forms, our tissue is supposed to form like this, bound together, like a box of pens stacked up on top of each other. Did I lose my feed here? Like a box of pens stacked up on top of each other, or rubber bands on top of each other. They all lie the same direction. But when scar tissue starts to form, it binds itself up and gets in all these woven kind of patterns where things aren't in the same direction they're supposed to be. They're not in their normal ley lines. So with that, we want to make sure that we're doing massage, a little friction on scar tissues, really to break it up. Acupuncture really works absolutely wonderful with this. I like doing it with my patients, needling around the area of the insertion site, making sure that we're breaking up any areas where there are adhesions and scar tissues forming in those tissues to actually chip away and break them up. And then massaging the area around to make sure that the tissues are lining up and laying in the right directions. Carrie, you can't let your dog lick your wounds. I'm sorry. You can let them lick your face and your hands, but no wounds. And why won't you box, jump, fail, heal? Well, I can give you the honest answer because you won't let me treat the damn area. Shin's a very tender area to be treated, but there are definitely ways to treat it. But you got to come in and we got to make that a focal point of treating it. To heal it by itself, it's not going to. You have a very deep bruise in the area, in the bone. There's not much blood flow to the bone, more to the skin tissue in the area, but it's a tender area and people don't like it, and bone bruises stay tender, so they don't have treatment on the area. When you don't have treatment on the area, things don't improve, so you're just kind of left to sit there and fester and foster. So come in and let's get that worked on. Let's do a little plum blossoming in the area, get the swelling down, some local needle, and I guarantee you some cold laser too, that'll go down. But back to the topic at hand here. Acupuncture massage, super good, breaking up those scar tissues, making sure those tissues lay down in the same directions. We want to also make sure we are applying heat, no ice. If you haven't seen my previous videos on no ice, drop the ice, folks. We don't want ice on any of our wounds, joint injuries, or anything like that. We want to have inflammation come to the area, and I would like anybody out there that has any actual research, peer-reviewed journals and such that say ice speeds up healing time or reduces inflammation, to send them in to me. I'd love to review that. I have not found one ever that has actually definitively said so. In fact, I found quite a few that say the exact opposite, that ice actually slows down healing time and actually increases inflammatory markers or shows no change in inflammatory markers in both blood and muscle tissue for 24 and 48-hour test after induction of cold to the body. So ice, no good. Ice restricts the lymphatic flow away from the area and also decreases blood flow to the area. Ice is very, very good at stopping pain, but very, very bad at helping healing happen faster. The problem in the area with the injury is not that there is too much inflammation. The problem is that the inflammation is not draining correctly. So with that, it's like opening up more exits on the freeway. You don't want to stop the cars from driving on the freeway. You want to open up more exits. Inflammation is the body's natural way of healing. Stop taking your NSAIDs. Stop taking anti-inflammatories. Let inflammation happen, and your wounds and injuries will heal. Your body's designed to heal. But with that in mind, we don't want to create extra inflammation as well. So make sure you take care of your diet, reduce your inflammatory foods, things like cheese, dairy, gluten, wheat, flour, sugar, all the stuff you guys know you shouldn't be eating anyhow, but you tend to because you like it, typically because you're addicted. Sugar is the #1 most addictive substance on the planet, more so than cocaine. Tons and tons of studies and tests done on that one. Sugar is the most addictive thing on the planet and very inflammatory for your system. So reduce the inflammatory foods, and then to help increase inflammation reduction from the area, the elimination of those products. I always do kinesiotaping on swollen areas rooted at the lymph nodes. So we drain to the lymph channels and ducts to increase the flow of lymphatic fluid away from the swollen area. And electric stim is a fantastic way to, not your common practice electric stim that you'll buy from CVS or maybe from a PT or chiro's office. They really need a specific setting and modulations for it. The idea is that the lymphatic system moves through breathing and muscle movement, and by stimulating light fasciculations or movements of the muscles under the skin, you'll get a peristaltic wave to start to form, which gets the lymphatic fluid to flush out of the area. So that's two super big secrets right there on how to do that. Third thing that I really, really love, I did this one myself, is cold laser therapy. People kind of weird out about cold lasers. They don't hurt. They don't really feel like much of anything, but it's been shown over and over again that the introduction of photons to the tissues of the body will actually make the tissues and cells more permeable, lets more nutrition in, more waste products out, and also allows them to replicate themselves faster. For an area with a wound, those are three things that are a necessity. Good in, bad out, and reproduction of healthy. So we want to make sure we're using some cold laser on that as well too. And that's an absolutely fantastic alternative for people who are afraid of acupuncture, afraid of needles, or can't be needled in a certain area. Cold laser is super, super good, and it penetrates deep down into the joints as well as into the skin. So anybody that might be afraid of having acupuncture done, cold laser, point of life acupuncture, we do it all the time. It works wonders. And also too, topical herbs. All of our practitioners here are herbal practitioners as well. And we also do applications of topical herbs to help rejuvenate skin and help them heal faster as well. So that's something you really want to speak to a trained herbal professional, not just an over-the-counter, hey, I like herbs and oils and stuff like that. But, you know, you get what you pay for, and having somebody with a little bit more education is going to give you a much better customized blend of what topicals to put on your body to specifically fit your needs and your desires. So that's pretty much it for all wound care, post-operative care, be it a C-section, torn bicep tendon, knee surgery, back surgery. They all really go the same thing. It's rest, ice, compression, elevation. That's out the window. We want to go with heat, compression, elevation, and mobilization. That is the best thing to heal any kind of wound and injury, along with a maintained good diet and topical and internal applications of herbs and supplements as well. So, Katie, I hope that helps you out there. Thank you, Maria. You're super good, too. Hey, and everybody needs a lymphatic specialist. Maria Lanzano just popped into the room right there. Check her out. She's out of Sayville, New York, down on Long Island on the South Shore. She is a trained lymphatic specialist as well. I send a lot of my lymphatic patients to her. People dealing with post-operative mastectomy, swellings, or lymphatics, lymphedema, stuff like that. So check her out. Super good massage therapist. Really, really good. What else do we have today? We also have weight management and altering body composition. This is a fun topic. Weight management is a really kind of cool thing because we have this weird psychological thing that we just need to lose weight. What we really don't need to do is lose weight. You can lose weight very easily. I'll cut your damn leg off. You want to lose 30 pounds? Let's take your leg off. You want to lose 60? We'll take both legs off. You lost some weight. We can put you in a tub of salt water. You'll weigh less. We can put you on another planet. You're going to weigh less. We can put you further away from the center of the earth. You're going to weigh less. So weight is not the issue. What the issue really is what you're made out of. It's not a matter of mass. It's a matter of matter. Muscle weighs more than fat. Fat is less functional. So what you really need to do is not weigh less, but you need to change the composition of your body. If you are 200 pounds of fat or 200 pounds of muscle, you're going to have very, very, very different physiological effects on your body. You're going to be different health, different functionality. Walking upstairs, one's going to get you tired, one's going to be nothing to you. So what we need to talk about really is not so much weight loss, but recompromising the body. What is the body composition made out of? A lot of stuff out there, research, I don't even want to call it research, a lot of information out there talks about body weight loss and management and saying reduce your caloric intake. Yeah, there is a threshold of what our baseline energy uses are for the day, and anything above that is going to put on mass, and anything below that is going to reduce your mass. However, not all calories are the same. There are things called macronutrients. Macronutrients are your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. They really determine what kind of tissues you're going to be building in your body and what kind of energy systems you can use for exercise and general life work, where calories are really just your ability to stay alive. It's just plain old fuel for your system. In addition to macros, there are also micronutrients, which are really the elements found in nature that are minerals that we ingest, as well as vitamins. And those things are really the cellular building blocks. If you have healthy cells, you're going to have healthy tissues. If you have healthy tissues, you're going to have healthy organs. If you have healthy organs, you're going to have a healthy system. If you have a healthy system, you're going to have a healthy organism. So it's best to build from the ground up. If you're building a house, you'd want to have really good, strong bricks. You wouldn't want to have shitty, sandy bricks. And if you're building your body with crappy micronutrients or no micronutrients, you're having shitty cells, and that's going to build up a shitty system and make for a shitty organism. And we don't want you to be shitty. We want you to be super, outstanding, and fabulous. So, first thing to consider now is what builds up muscle in the body and what builds up fat in the body. A lot of people say carbs build up fat, fat builds up fat. Here's a system for you. The system in this body is called mTOR. It is the mammal's ability to take amino acids and process them into proteins to make lean muscle tissue. So what does that mean? If you're reducing your calories, you're taking a 4-cylinder car and you're putting in less gas, weaker gas, maybe from a 98 octane to a 84 octane. You're obviously going to get less mileage for that gas usage. However, if you take that car and you make that 4-cylinder car a 12-cylinder car, regardless of the gas, you're going to burn that gas faster, right? More cylinders are burned, more energy is going to be expended. With that, muscle burns more calories than fat does. Muscle burns more calories than anything in the body. Muscle is the number one, especially lean muscle. Lean muscle is the number one metabolic burn rate in the body. It expends more energy doing absolutely nothing than anything else. So we want to really focus on building a lean muscle in our systems. How do we do that? Amino acids are super important and ratios are super important. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine, all right? We want to have a 4-1-1 ratio ideally. Yes, Carrie, there are different types of muscles. We have smooth muscle fibers. We have striated muscle. We have voluntary and involuntary muscle. We have fast twitch muscle and endurance, long reactive muscles. So there are multiple different types of muscles in the body, from your heart to your blood vessels to your biceps. They're all different types, and you can definitely tell people who are powerlifters by different than people who are long distance endurance athletes, correct? So you can tell just by looking at them, they have a different body composition, different body mass, and different muscle tissue. But what we really want to do is we want to build up a lean muscle because it's the most functional, useful, and versatile in the body. To do so, leucine, isoleucine, and valine in a 4-to-1 ratio in equal parts with our carbs. And we want to start our day with that. So having oatmeal, cereal, fruit, things like that first thing in the morning, that's a no-no. That's going to put your body into a heightened glycemic index, which means your body's going to start to store sugars. When your body starts to store sugars, it starts to save them for later use. And we don't want to have that system for the body system staying for the rest of the day in storage mode. We want it to actively build and burn. So protein first thing in the morning. Typical good ratio for your macronutrients, I like to have people at a 40-40-20 ratio starting off. That's going to be 40% carbs, 40% protein, 20% fat through all their meals throughout the day. Try to balance it easily on each meal rather than waiting to the end of the day and figuring out what you have left and trying to stuff it into your face, because I guarantee you end up with like, oh man, I still need to eat 40 grams of fat and your only option is going to be a stick of butter. You don't want to do that. The compromise, these are all chemicals that go in your body. If you're working with the chemistry set, the balance and equilibrium and the amounts of each chemical that you're putting in is going to be super important, and it's super important in your body what you put in also too. Personally, I've been following a diet template called Renaissance Periodization. If you want to check them out, it's absolutely fantastic. A little bit difficult out there because it's timing as well and changes the ratios depending on the level of intensity of your workout and the frequency of your workout. But for those of you people that are athletes out there, I highly recommend it. I've never gotten better results training in my life, as well as body fat coming off and muscle being built. I feel absolutely fantastic on it, so I definitely recommend that. There are other ideas out there too, like the Whole 30 challenge out there, paleo and zone. But really, baseline, people getting introduced, you want to start looking and really starting to track your macros using a system that works. Flexible macroing is the best way to do that. Real food that fits your macros. If it comes from a box, a bag, or can, it's not meant to be eaten by a human. But if it comes from the tree, the ground, or runs around, eat as much of it as can be found. Find real food, eat them in that 40-40-20 ratio, and you're going to see things start to change. Make sure you're eating all your meals balanced that way. Also, too, you can get a calculator out there and figure out what your calorie demands are for the day, and just make sure your macros stay within that calorie level, and you're going to be good to go. I guarantee you. We can talk about tweaking that a little bit more in the future as well, too. But really, the biggest thing in dieting is changing your identity. We have all these ideas of who we are and the thermostat of who we set ourselves to be and our beliefs that fill our identity. And changing those beliefs is the number one thing. If you believe you're a person that can't eat greens, you're a person that believes that they can't eat health food, you're a person that believes that they can't lose weight, you're never, ever going to. So the key thing is changing your identity, changing your beliefs, getting out of the minds, getting into the heart, and finding the pathways to power, as Tony Robbins says. Those people that are successful before you have been successful because they do things that are different. Find those different things, emulate them, and you too will have the same success as them. So that's my tips for you guys today. This is What to Do Wednesday. My name is Ryder Champouillon from Point to Life Acupuncture, Champ Business Enterprise, Body, Mind, and Breath Industries, and CrossFit DHP. Signing out today. Guys, check out our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, put in Point of Life Acupuncture. Find the profile of the channel that has more than 2 topics on it. It's got 19, 20, 30 videos on that. Subscribe to that. Also, follow me on Instagram, too. I'm going to be popping up my presence a little bit more frequently on Instagram with some great motivational stuff and some tips for training out there, as well as for healing that body, broken as it may be or as functional as it may be. We can all improve. So, Ryder Champouillon, Point of Life Acupuncture. This has been What to Do Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be well. Live life fully.